Good afternoon. Show's about to begin. Welcome, guys, to the show. This is ProdiGee. This is the Sun reading section. The book today is The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. Good afternoon. Show's about to begin. Hold on. Welcome, guys, to the show. This is ProdiGee. This is the Sun reading section. The book today. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing. Hey, hey, yo. Testing. Sorry, we're getting started. Give me a second. This should be good, right? Sorry, we're getting started. Give me a second. This should be good, right? We're knocked down too, and I think it's good. That's what we have here. We're knocked down too, and I think it's good. What we have here is the ancient secret of the flower of life. Alright, yeah. Thank you for joining. Let's go. Where should I begin? All right. Okay. Okay, let's begin. Introduction. Part of my purpose in presenting this work is to assist people to be aware of certain events that have happened on this planet, or are presently happening or about to happen. Events that are radically affecting our consciousness in a way we're living today by our standards. Nice, okay. events that are radically affecting our consciousness and the way that we're living today. By understanding our present situation, we get open to the possibility of a new consciousness, a new humanity emerging on Earth.
What do you mean that's all I see? What do you mean that's all I see?
This is important, for it brings both sides of the brain into balance. This balance opens the pineal gland and allows the prana, the life force energy, to enter the innermost part of our physical being. Then, and only then, is the body of light called the remarkable possible. However, please understand that the evidence I originally learned this information from is in itself not important. The information could in most cases be completely changed to different information without affecting the outcome. In addition, I made my mistakes because I am now human. What is most interesting to me is that every time I made a mistake, it led into a deeper understanding of the reality and higher truth. So I say to you, if you find an error, look deeper. If you get hung up on the information by overestimating its value, you totally miss the point of the work. What I have just said is paramount to understanding this work. I'll also be giving my personal experiences, many of which are, I admit, outrageous by the ordinary world standards. Perhaps they are not so outrageous by the old world standards, but it is you who must decide if they are true or are just stories, or if it even matters. Listen deeply with your heart. That should be okay. Test it. In addition, I mean, for your heart always knows the truth, then I intend to share with you as much as I can in the second volume, a specific breathing technique that will help you return to the vastly higher state of consciousness from which we all came. It is the remembrance of the breath connected to the light body of the Merkaba. This is one of the primary purposes of this book. At this point, a short story of how this book came about is in order. You will read about the angels, so I will not begin there, but rather with the later events. In 1985, the angels asked me to begin teaching the meditation of the Merkaba. I first learned it in 1971 and had been practicing it ever since, but I did not want to become a teacher. My life was easy and fulfilled. Basically, I was comfortable and didn't want to work so hard. The angels said that when someone is given spiritual knowledge, they must share it. They said it was a creation. They said it was a law of creation. Knowing they were right, I opened my first class to the public in the spring of 1985. By 1991, my workshops were filled and overflowing. With hundreds of people in the waiting list, I didn't know how to reach everyone who wanted this information. In fact, I could not, so in 1992 I made a decision to release a video of my own. Release a video of one of my workshops and let it go out to the world. Videos could not really understand what was presented because it was outside the context and content of their spiritual understanding. I gave a lecture to 90 people in Washington State, all of whom had seen videotapes but had never been to one meditation. Had never been to one of my live workshops. It was there that I realized that decision to release a video of one of my workshops and let it go out to the world within less than a year. It was exploding in sales, but there was one big problem. Most of the people who were watching the videos could not really understand what was presented because it was outside the context and content of their spiritual understanding. I gave a lecture to 90 people in Washington State, all of whom had seen the videotapes but had never been to one of my live workshops. It was there that I realized that only about 15% of the people actually knew how to live the meditation by using only the instructions of the videotapes. It was not working. 85% was clear and unclear about the instructions. Immediately I took the videotapes off the market. This, however, did not stop the video from continuing to be sold. People wanted the information, so they began to copy the existing tapes and give, sell, or lease them to people worldwide. By 1993, it had been estimated that there were approximately 100,000 sets of these tapes in the world. A decision was made. It was determined that the only way we could be responsible with this information was to have a trained person in the room with someone watch the videotapes. Trained means that we had carefully instructed a person to know and live the Merkaba. That person could then orally teach another. This is how the Flower Life Facilitator program was born. There are now over 200 trained facilitators in at least 33 countries, and the system was worked very well. Now things are changing again. People are beginning to understand consciousness and its value and concepts. It is now time to release this book to the general public, which is now ready, we feel. A book has the advantage that the people can take more time to study the drawings and photos carefully at leisure, and it will also have the current updated information such as follows. We're just gonna skip all that.
What in the heck? That's it, I mean.
This might be a bit better. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Ever since the angels first appeared in 1971, I have been following their guidance. This is still true today. It was the angels who gave me the meditation of the Merkaba, and it is the meditation that is important here, not the information that is presented. The information is used
it start, man. Man, you better. Hold on. I forgot all the comments, man. I'm gonna be honest. Anyway, let's get back to
And it is the meditation that is important here, not the information that is presented. The information is used just to bring us to a point of clarity so we can enter into a particular state of consciousness. Understand that as I received the scientific information in the early years from 1971 to about 1985, I thought it was for my own personal growth. When I would read a scientific paper or magazine, I would discard it, and now realizing that in the future I would have to prove what I was saying. Most of the articles have been located, but not all. Yet this information needs to go out. You, the reader, have strongly requested. Therefore, wherever I can, I will document my readings, my statements. But some proofs are lost, at least for the moment. Also, part of the information is about non-scientific sources such as angels or interdimensional communications. We understand that straight science needs to be separated from a source that is considered psychic. Scientists are concerned about their credibility. As a side note, I would like to comment that this is similar to a male saying to a female that her feelings are not valid and that only logic is true or valid. That logic must be followed. Naturally, she knows another way. It is the way of life itself. It flows. It has no male logic, but it is equally true. I believe in both in balance. If you can conceive of a person using both science and psychic abilities together to explore the reality, you have come to the right place. Whenever possible, I will differentiate between the two types of sources so that you are clear. This means that you must go within yourself to see if this information is true within your world. If something does not feel right, then discard it and go on. If it feels right, then live it and see if it is really true. But it is my understanding that the mind will never really know the reality until it has joined with the heart. Male and female complete each other. When you read this work, you have two choices. You can come from your left brain, your male side, and take notes and carefully see the logic in each step. Or you can come from your right brain, your feminine side, just let go and do a thing. Feel, watch like a movie, expand it, not contract it. Either way will work. It is your choice. Finally, as I prepared this book, I had to make another decision. Should the final stages of meditation, the Merkaba itself, be released? I still feel that an oral teacher is best. Would you jump to the final stages of Tibetan Buddhism after reading one book? What has been decided is that everything will be given the information is out, much of it has been distorted, and sometimes it is just plain not true. Please know that it is not to protect myself, but to be responsible for the integrity of the work. This information belongs to the universe, not me. It is only the purity of the information that I am concerned with, and your clear understanding of it. The exact instructions for the meditation are on the website, are on the internet. But of course, not the hidden knowledge. That is experiential. You must live it. There is other information on the net that states it is coming from me when it is not. There is also information about the flower of life that is simply wrong or out of date. However, this work will make clear what has been veiled or distorted. I understand that these people were coming from their hearts, looking for the truth, but it is still my responsibility to you. Therefore, in order to be clear and set the record straight, I am writing this book for all of you who wish to truly understand and know the truth. In love and service, Drunvalo Melchizedek. Alright, chapter 1. Let's begin. Before I begin, I want to let y'all know that I am only reading one chapter for this live stream, and then I'll continue on in the next live stream. So let's get to it. Remembering our ancient past, how the fall of Atlantis changed our reality. A little less than 13,000 years ago, something very dramatic happened in the history of our planet that we're going to explore in great detail, because what happened in the past is now affecting every aspect of our life today. Everything we experience in our daily living, including the particular technologies we use, the wars that erupt, the foods we eat, and even the way we perceive our lives, is a direct result of a certain sequence of events that happened during the end of Atlantean times. The consequences of these ancient events have entirely changed the way we live and interpret reality. Everything is connected. There is only one reality and one God, but there are many, many ways that the one reality can be interpreted. In fact, the number of ways to interpret the reality are just about infinite. There are certain realities that many people have agreed on, and these realities are called levels of consciousness. For reasons we'll get into, there are specific realities that extremely large numbers of beings are focusing on, which include the one you and I are experiencing right now. At one time, we existed on Earth in a very high level of awareness that was far beyond anything we can even imagine right now. We hardly have even the capability to imagine where we once were, because who we were then is so out of context with who we are now, because of the particular events that happened between 16,000 and 13,000 years ago. Humanity fell from that very high place through many dimensions and overtones, ever increasing in density until we reach this particular place, which we call the dimension on planet Earth, the modern world. But we fell, and it was like a fall. We were in an uncontrolled spiral of consciousness. is the star tetrahedral. That's man right there. The way most important change was in the way we breathe prana, a Hindu word for the life force energy of this universe. Prana is more critical to our survival than air, water, food, or any other substance. And the manner in which we take this energy into our bodies radically affects how we perceive the reality. In Atlantean times and earlier, the way we breathe prana was directly related to the electromagnetic energy fields that surround our bodies. All the energy forms in our fields are geometric, and the one we will be working with is a star tetrahedron, which consists of two interlocking tetrahedrons. Another way of thinking of it is a three-dimensional Star of David. The apex of the upward pointing tetrahedron terminates 1 hand's length above the head, and apex of the downward pointing tetrahedron terminates 1 hand's length above the feet. A connecting tube runs from the upper apex to the lower point through the body's main energy centers, or chakras. This tube for your body has the diameter of the circle you made. The apex of the upper pointing tetrahedron terminates 1 hand's length above the head, and the apex of the downward pointing tetrahedron terminates 1 hand's length below the feet. A connecting tube runs from the upper apex to the lower point through the body's main energy centers, or chakras. This tube for your body has the diameter of the circle you make when you touch your longest finger to your thumb. It looks like a glass fluorescent tube, except it has a crystalline structure at the ends that fit into the two apexes of the star tetrahedron. Before the fall of Atlantis, we used to bring prana simultaneously up and down this tube, and the two prana flows would meet inside one of our chakras. Specifically, how and where is prana? Where the prana meets has always been an important aspect of this ancient science, which today is still being studied throughout the universe. Another major point in the human body is the pineal gland, located almost in the center of the head, which is a huge factor in consciousness. This gland has degenerated from its original size, comparable to a ping pong ball, to its original size, that of a dry pea, because we forgot how to use it a long time ago. And if you don't use it, you lose it. Pranic energy used to flow through the center of the pineal gland. This gland, according to Jacob Lieberman, author of Light, the medicine of the future, looks like an eye, and in some respects, it is literally an eyeball. It's round and has an opening on one portion. In that opening is a lens for focusing light. It's hollow and has color receptors inside. Its primary view
That's crazy. Hold on. Man, I just know I can say this. Shut up. Hold on.
Okay. Consciousness has always been an important aspect of this ancient science, which today is still being studied throughout the universe. Another major point in the human body is the pineal gland, located almost in the center of the head. Looks like an eye. Pranic energy used to flow through the center of the pineal gland. This gland, according to Jacob Lieberman, author of Light, the Medicine of the Future, looks like an eye. In some respects, it is literally an eyeball. It's round and has an opening on one portion. In that opening is a lens for focusing light. It's hollow and has color receptors inside. Its primary field of view, though this has not been determined scientifically, is upward toward the heavens, just as our eyes can look up to 90 degrees to the side from the direction they face. The pineal gland can also look as much as 90 degrees away from its set direction. Just as we cannot look out the back of our heads, the pineal gland cannot look down toward the earth. Held inside the pineal gland, even in its shrunken size, are all the sacred geometries and understandings of exactly how the reality was created. It's all there in every single person, but these understandings are not accessible to us now because we lost our memories during the fall. And without our memories, we started to breathe differently. Instead of taking in prana through the pineal gland and circulating it up and down our central tube, we started breathing in through the nose and mouth. This caused the prana to bypass the pineal gland, which resulted in our seeing things in a totally different way through a different interpretation called good and evil or polarity consciousness of the one reality. The result of this polarity consciousness has us thinking that we're inside our body looking out, somehow separated from what's out there. This is pure illusion. It feels real, but there is no truth at all to this perception. It's merely the view of reality we have from this fallen state. For example, there is nothing wrong with anything that happens for God. For example, there is nothing wrong with anything that happens, for God is in control of the creation. But from one point of view, a polarity view, looking at the planet and how it evolves, we should not have fallen down here in a normal curve of our evolution. We should not be here. Something happened to us that was not supposed to happen. We went through a mutation. We had a chromosome breakage, we might say. So the Earth has been on red alert for almost 13,000 years, and many beings in levels of consciousness has been working together to figure out how to get us back on the path. DNA, where we were before. The effect of this mistaken fall in consciousness and the ensuing efforts to get us back on track is that something really good, something unexpected, something amazing has resulted. The effect of this mistaken fall in consciousness and the ensuing efforts to bring us back on track is that something really good, something unexpected, something amazing has resulted. Beings from all over the universe have been trying to help us with our problem. since completely forgotten. The geometric energy fields around our bodies can be turned on in a particular way, which is also connected to our breath. These fields used to spin at close to the speed of light around our bodies. Please slow down and start spinning after the pause. When this field is turned back on and spins, it's called a Merkaba, and its usefulness in this reality is unparalleled. It gives us an expanded awareness of who we are, connects us with higher levels of consciousness, and restores the memory of the infinite possibilities of our being. A healthy spinning Merkaba is 15 to 60 feet in diameter, proportionate to one side. The rotation of a spinning Merkaba can be displayed on a computer monitor using the appropriate instruments, and its appearance is identical with the infrared heat envelope of the galaxy. The same basic shape as the traditional flying saucer. The word Merkaba is made up of three similar words, Mer, Ka, and Ba, which, as we are using them, came from ancient Egyptian. It is unseen in other cultures as Merkaba, Merkaba, and Merkaba. There are several pronunciations, but generally you pronounce it as if the three syllables are separate, with equal accents on each. Mer refers to a specific kind of light that was understood in Egypt only during the 18th dynasty. Hold on. Alright, let's get it. Okay. Alright. The realities where spirits don't have bodies refers to the process. It was seen as two counter-rotating fields of light spinning in the same space, which were generated by certain moving patterns. Ka refers to the individual spirit, and Ba refers to the spirit's interpretation of this particular reality. In our particular reality, Ba is usually defined as the body or physical reality. In other realities where spirits don't have bodies, it refers to their concepts or interpretations of the reality they bring with them. So the Merkaba is a counter-rotating field of light that affects spirit and body simultaneously. It is a vehicle that can take spirit and body, or one's interpretation of reality, from one world or dimension into another. In fact, the Merkaba is much more than this because it can recreate reality as well as move through realities. For our purposes here, however, we will focus mainly on its aspect as an interdimensional vehicle. Merkava means chariot in Hebrew. That will help us return to our original higher state of consciousness. Is there even a chapter 2, bro? I don't know if I can count these as chapters per se. Do you like good talking points? What do I mean? Oh no, I ain't reading. I can't do that, man. Alright. To be clear, returning to our higher state is a natural process that can be easy or difficult according to our belief patterns. However, simply becoming involved with the technical relationships of the Merkaba, such as correcting or breathing patterns or mentally realizing the infinite connections to all patterns of life, for example, is not enough. At least one other factor is even more important than the Merkaba itself, and that is the understanding, realization, and living of divine love, for it is divine love, sometimes referred to as unconditional love. That is the primary factor that allows the Merkaba to become a living field of light. Without divine love, the Merkaba is just a machine, and this machine will have limitations that will never allow the spirit that created it to return home and reach the highest levels of consciousness, the place where there are no levels. We must be experiencing and expressing unconditional love in order to move beyond a certain dimension, and the world is fast heading toward the higher place. We are heading away from the place of separatism, where we see ourselves inside the body looking out. That view will be gone soon, to be replaced with a different view of reality, where we'll have the sense and knowledge of absolute unity with all life, and that sense will grow more and more as we continue to move upward through each level on our journey. Later we will explore special ways of opening the heart to kindle compassion, unconditional love, so that you can have a direct experience. If you can just let this happen, you may discover things about yourself that you didn't know before. Dear reader, there are procedures in the workshops that cannot be reproduced on the tapes or in this book because they are totally experiential. They are just as important as the knowledge, for without them the knowledge is worthless. The only way we can give these experiences now is through oral tradition, through a living workshop, but that may change in the future. Alright, y'all, that's been the segment. It's been the first episode of ProdiGee's Zen reading section. A little ASMR, a little live reading, a little work in progress. So I read a bit of chapter 1, and I plan to hop back on later on in the week and read through the rest of the chapter and then keep it going. This is the start of a series where I plan on reading through books. I might be focusing on fiction-based books generally, but depending on with a slow fade out. I keep the music playing. You can chill and vibe, and then watch it or replay it later on, and so thank you for joining me, and have a good night.